It's a massive diplomatic win for India. What we are picking up at the moment is a massive embarrassment for Pakistan. We're given to understand UNSC has mentioned TRF in its Pahalgam report. The resistance force, remember, which is a proxy of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, has been mentioned by the UNSC. Remember, Pakistan boasted about dropping that reference of TRF, the resistance force, the terror organization that took responsibility for the Pahalgam terror attack. And in the assembly, Pakistan boasted how they got the UNSC to drop that reference. Well, the breaking news coming in is that UNSC has mentioned TRF in their Pahalgam report. A massive loss of face for Pakistan. My colleague Rishabh joins us on the broadcast. Rishabh, not just that. Remember, US has also designated TRF a terror organization. But this comes as a huge embarrassment and slap on the face of Pakistan that earlier boasted it got the UNSC to drop TRF reference behind Pahalgam attack.
Well, definitely. See, this is the monitoring report that has come in from UNSC. UNSC's 1267 committee that is meant to monitor the terror activities in the world and to designate. It has the power to designate any group, any individual as terrorist organization or terrorist group. It was formed and it is in general called Al-Qaeda, ISIL group, which committee for that matter, 1267. Now in its monitoring report, in the section where they have spoken about Asia, has mentioned TRF, the resistance front. It is a big diplomatic event. Remember, India is not part of UNSC right now. India does not have a seat in UNSC. Pakistan, as we are speaking, is the chair of UNSC. Their chairmanship ends tomorrow for that matter. But being the chair of UNSC, Pakistan failed because the member nations continued pressurizing that TRF needs to be called out. The report very categorically said that one member said that it was TRF who took the responsibility, again repeated the claim on 24th, and suddenly on 26th decided to retract. Since then, there hasn't been any other group that has taken the responsibility of Pahalgam attack. The other nation said that TRF is...
Rishabh, please stay on with us. Please stay on with us. We have Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, on the broadcast. Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat, also joining us. Let me quickly go across to Mr. Sajjanhar. Your first reaction. It's a massive diplomatic win for India. At the same time, loss of face, huge embarrassment for Pakistan that earlier said it got the UNSC to drop the TRF reference about the Pahalgam attack, their role behind the attack.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much. As far as you mentioned about the embarrassment to Pakistan, nothing can embarrass Pakistan. They will sort of, still with a straight face go ahead saying Pakistan has had nothing to do with it. They have, in fact, when United States identified TRF as a terrorist organization, they said we welcome it very much. And but they are not involved in any way. That is a misnomer, that is a wrong assessment, and it is a local homegrown organization. But that pack of lies has been completely demolished now, first by the United States taking that decision, and now the UNSC also supporting it, that TRF was the one that is behind it. And the United States has very categorically said that it is an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba. So I think it is a huge win. I agree with you. As you said, it's a very welcome development. And it will further strengthen India's case. I think it will also be a response to, what this bickering and charges that have been there in the domestic by the domestic opposition parties also, because it is India's proactive taking up the issue at global level, at international level, and, some of our opposition parties saying that we didn't get any support, we don't have any friends. I think this is concrete evidence and proof that the world stands with India on this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the most important takeaway. Thank you very much, Mr. Sajjanhar, for speaking with us on the broadcast. I want to take that across to Tehseen Poonawala. And what Mr. Sajjanhar said towards the end is the most important in the world, identifying cross-border terrorism, the impact of that on not just India but the entire world, and the perpetrators behind them. Tehseen.
Swati, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on the show. This is a big victory for Team India. This is a massive victory. We all know that TRF is the front for Lashkar-e-Taiba. We know that the US designated it after the all-party meeting, particularly what Shashi Tharoor accomplished with Marco Rubio and Milind Deora accomplished with J.D. Vance, and of course J.D. Vance's connection and chemistry with Prime Minister Modi. So I think this is a great victory for Team India, particularly because India does not have a seat in the UNSC. And once US had designated TRF as those responsible for the Pahalgam terror attack, it was a matter of time, as I've been saying, the UNSC will do it. So many congratulations to Team India. And I think this is fabulous. I don't know why, Swati, with respect, questions have to be framed as if the opposition would celebrate that India is not winning. I think the opposition is pro-India more than I think the government is pro-India.
No, these questions arise when senior leaders ask, how are we so sure that Pakistan was involved? Of course, rebuttals came in from the Home Minister, from other leaders of the government, from the Prime Minister himself. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Pratibha joining us from the Newspit with details of that UNSC statement as well as reactions coming in. Yes, Pratibha.
So, Swati, is a big diplomatic victory for India. Remember, after Pakistan had fought hard to ensure that TRF was not named in the statement, the UNSC statement has now named LET and TRF. Here is the operative bit of the statement. It says, on the 22nd of April, 5 terrorists attacked a tourist spot in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. 26 civilians were killed. The attack was claimed that same day by the Resistance Front, the TRF, who in parallel published a photograph of the attack site. The claim of responsibility was repeated the following day. On the 26th of April, however, TRF retracted its claim. There was no further communication from TRF and no group claimed responsibility. Regional relations remain fragile. There is a risk that terrorist groups may exploit these regional tensions. And then it goes on to mention, one member state said that the attack could not have happened without the Lashkar-e-Taiba. So LET being mentioned, the TRF being mentioned as well. In fact, it has also gone on to expose Pakistan, saying that it cannot hide behind these non-state actors.
Absolutely. Pratibha, stay on with us. I want to quickly go across to Pradeep Bhandari as well. Pradeep Bhandari, Tehsin Poonawalla says, why are questions being framed as if, the opposition is taking a stand completely contradictory to this? The opposition is equally thrilled, says Tehsin Poonawalla, that TRF has been mentioned in this midterm report of the UNSC.
Well, Swati, this is a huge diplomatic victory for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. At the same time, this is a slap on the face of Rahul Gandhi, who consistently was questioning India's diplomacy and was taking forward the argument that the world was not with us. Now, please tell us that if the world was not with us, why would have UNSC designated TRF as a terror outfit? Why did United States of America on July 18th, if US and Pakistan were so close in relationship, would designate TRF as a global terror body? So whether it is United States of America or whether it is UNSC or whether it is BRICS where Pahalgam terror attack was mentioned or whether it is Quads, every appropriate body has called out Pakistan for its role on terror. And please mind you, all of them have done after India has hit Pakistan 100 kilometers deep inside Pakistan. So the actions of India have been legitimized and have got a thumbs up approval. Now compare this to 26/11 when India was hit by Mumbai terror attack. You had Congress party playing dossier. You had P. Chidambaram calling it as RSS ki sajish, and the same P. Chidambaram continues to be in the Congress party, who 48 hours back was questioning whether Pakistan was involved in it. And I definitely will question Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra, because in their entire speech, they did not congratulate our forces on Operation Mahadev, because for the last 1.5 months, they were asking where were Pahalgam terrorists. Now, when the forces had killed the Pahalgam terrorists, none of them congratulated them in a separate tweet. There is why I question their patriotism. They are compelled to at this moment.
But there is a sense of doubt on that as well, Pradeep Bhandari, because many inside the parliament, including Akhilesh Yadav, have asked कि एक दिन में कैसे हो गया Operation Mahadev. Opposition raises the question inside the parliament asking where are these terrorists, and then comes the announcement that they've been neutralized.
Swati ji, स्वाति जी, जिन्होंने जिंदगी में कभी ना बॉर्डर पे बंदूक नहीं उठाई है ना, जिन्होंने कभी सेना के शौर्य को समझा है, वो नहीं समझ सकते कि ऑपरेशन कैसे और कब होता है. दिस इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाई अखिलेश यादव इज बाउंड टू से इट बिकॉज ही इज द सेम मैन हु यूज्ड टू आस्क फॉर रिलीजन ऑफ द टेररिस्ट. आई एम नॉट सरप्राइज्ड, बट आई वुड अपील तहसीन पुनेवाला टू कॉल अप राहुल गांधी एंड टेल हिम टू अपोलोजाइज टू द पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री फॉर क्वेश्चनिंग इंडियाज डिप्लोमैटिक prowess.
जी, संजीव कौशिक इज ऑल्सो विद अस ऑन द ब्रॉडकास्ट. आई क्विकली गो अक्रॉस टू संजीव कौशिक. जवाब दें प्रदीप भंडारी का कि जिन लोगों ने कभी जाना ही नहीं, समझा ही नहीं कि चुनौतियां क्या होती हैं सरहद पर, वो इस तरह की बात कहें तो इसमें सरप्राइज होने की जरूरत नहीं है. टीआरएफ का मेंशन यूएनएससी की इस मिड टर्म रिपोर्ट में इस बात को दर्शाता है कि क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को लेकर भारत ने अब तक जितनी बातें कही हैं, जो इम्पैक्ट भारत पर पाकिस्तान के क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म की वजह से हुआ है, उसकी क्या मान्यता है, उसकी क्या वैल्यू है यूएनएससी की नजर में. लश्कर ए तैयबा का भी जिक्र है इस मिड टर्म रिपोर्ट में. संजीव कौशिक.
देखिए, निश्चित तौर पर भारत के लिए ये बहुत बड़ी सफलता है और हमें गर्व है. निश्चित तौर पर सरकार के लिए भी उपलब्धि है, लेकिन सवाल इस पे है ही नहीं. सवाल जो पूछे गए, चाहे सदन में हो या विपक्षी पार्टियों ने जो सवाल पूछे, क्या उस सवाल का जवाब मिला? क्या हम सरकार के विफलताओं की बात कर रहे हैं और सरकार ऑपरेशन सिंदूर की बात कर रही है. हम तो लगातार ये बात पूछते चले आए कि आखिर वो कौन से कारण थे जिसकी वजह से हमारे पर्यटक वहां 150 के आसपास में थे और एक भी सुरक्षा व्यवस्था नहीं थी. उसका सरकार ने कोई जवाब नहीं दिया. सरकार से ये पूछते रहे कि आखिर किन परिस्थितियों में, ठीक है हमने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर किया, ठिकाने लगाए, उस कंडीशन में थे कि दोबारा वो उठ नहीं खड़े होते. अभी भी हम स्टे मोड में हैं और फिर भी उसके बावजूद 29वीं बार 30वीं बार लगातार ट्रम्प साहब ये बात कह रहे हैं. तो वो किस परिस्थिति में कह रहे हैं? क्या उनके, कल तो राहुल गांधी ने चैलेंज किया सदन में,
लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री ने कल कह तो दिया साफ लफ्जों में कि किसी भी वर्ल्ड लीडर ने हमें फोर्स नहीं किया सीज फायर करने के लिए. जेडी वैंस से उनकी जब बात हुई उसमें भी प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि हम गोली का जवाब गोले से देंगे. अगर पाकिस्तान इस तरह की कोई हरकत करता है तो हम चुप बैठने वाले नहीं हैं. अब इससे और स्पष्ट प्रधानमंत्री को क्या कहना चाहिए था संजीव कौशिक जी?
ये सारी बातें तो पहले से ही है. सिर्फ बात तो ये है कि जो व्यक्ति आपके घोषणा करने से पहले, हिंदुस्तान के घोषणा करने से पहले सीज फायर की सूचना पूरे विश्व को दे देता हो, उस व्यक्ति पे सवाल है कि आखिर वो क्यों कर रहा है. लगातार यदि वो बात कर रहा है, अभी भी इस तरह की बातें हो रही है, तो एक बार यही तो देश की जनता सुनना चाहती थी.
तो थाईलैंड, कंबोडिया में भी एक सेकेंड, वो व्यक्ति तो जिन भी दो देशों के बीच में युद्ध होता है या टेंशन होता है, वहां क्लेम करने लग जाता है कि मेरा ही हस्तक्षेप हुआ है. आई वॉज द वन हु इंटरवीन, आई एम द वन हु इज एंश्योर्ड पीस हैज बीन ब्रोकर्ड, व्हाइल पीपल इन हिज ओन कंट्री आर नॉट विलिंग टू ट्रस्ट हिम. द ऑपोजिशन अगेन एंड अगेन ब्रिंगिंग आउट द इशू ऑफ Trump. Stay on with us, Sanjeev Kaushik. We also have Wing Commander Praful Bakshi joining us in the broadcast. How do you view this development, Wing Commander Bakshi? The reference of TRF in the midterm report of UNSC along with Lashkar-e-Taiba.
That is a very, very important happening. Madam, let me tell you one thing. If United Nations Security Council declares TRF and Lashkar-e-Taiba, it means now they are bound to take action against it. All the supporters, let me tell you one thing, there are a lot of supporters of these terrorist organizations. If you think they are not, we'll be sadly mistaken. There are a lot of supporters of these terrorist organizations outside and within India also. And they are working on religious grounds. So the question is, even if they have declared as a terrorist organization, but there is a lot of slip between the cup and the lip. Will that funding be stopped? Will the funding may be stopped directly, which is apparent. But it will be the other way around. There are a lot of helpers who will help these organizations. Don't we ever think that these organizations, if they stop, terrorism will go down. They may change the name, they change the location of the organization. So let us not start celebrating that these organizations are being declared terrorist organizations. So now the terrorism will come to a downfall. No.
No, they have been named. The TRF has been mentioned. Yes, the TRF has been mentioned in the UNSC midterm report. Wing Commander Bakshi, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Our guests continue to be with us. Let's quickly also listen into how Pakistan boasted that it got the UNSC to drop TRF reference when they spoke about and issued a statement on the Pahalgam attack. Listen into that statement made inside the Pakistani assembly. quickly go across to Pradeep Bhandari. Pradeep Bhandari, as you heard Sanjeev Kaushik and others in the opposition still not satisfied with the point-by-point rebuttal that has come in. Some still have a sense of doubt and are questioning if Pakistan was involved, if India had evidence, if there are footprints of Pakistan's involvement, why did we agree to the ceasefire arrangement? But tell us, Pradeep Bhandari, this reference of the resistance force. There's just a reference in this midterm report where the UNSC talks about how this terror organization first took responsibility, then went back on its claim, and also said that the other terror organizations might try to exploit the situation. How important is this reference?
This is extremely important, Swati, because this is a starting point for us where clearly the world has now acknowledged that it is Pakistani-based terror outfits which were responsible for Pahalgam, and there was no difference between state and non-state actors. Now, why it is important? Because Lashkar-e-Taiba has been a terror outfit which has been mushroomed by Pakistan. Now, on your point of Sanjeev Kaushik not agreeing to it, he will never agree to it because he can only agree to something which Pakistan says. Now, we have gone a way forward, Swati. Recall when UNHRC had quoted Rahul Gandhi's statement in order to make its case in Kashmir, to now where the UNSC is saying that it is not India which is the aggressor, it is Pakistan which was responsible for terror. There is no difference between state and non-state actor, and India had the legitimate right to protect its sovereignty. I believe it's a huge starting point, and along with that it is also a mirror to the opposition which was questioning our diplomatic prowess.
Okay, I want to bring in Tehseen Poonawalla very quickly, a mirror to the opposition that was questioning the diplomatic prowess of India. Tehseen.
The problem is that we are united fighting Pakistan and the BJP wants to fight the opposition. The questions that should be asked and what they escape from. And first, Swati, please feel free to check me. Is this the first time the UNSC or any other United Nations organization is mentioning a Pakistan-based terrorist group? They've done that continuously. The questions that we need to ask, which the BJP escapes from, is this. From Pathankot to Pahalgam and in between Pulwama, we repeatedly have intelligence failures. How are you responsible for that? Point number 2, I completely believe my defense minister, home minister, and my prime minister when they say that Operation Sindoor is false. Then why the hell are we playing cricket with Pakistan? What is our future policy with Pakistan when we say that terror and war, which I agree will not go hand in hand? What is the definition of war? What defines war? How do we define terror? Instead of answering intellectual questions, the only thing the opposition can do is indulge, the BJP can do is indulge in whataboutery. And for the record, as I end, Swati, you're standing in front of the old Parliament of India. This old Parliament of India was attacked in 2001, 13th December. What did the government of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee do? He had the biggest military build-up, and what happened? We had the highest casualties in the Indian army without firing a bullet. Nobody named Atal Bihari Vajpayee or called him a Pakistani agent, but the BJP comes and keeps doing it because they have no answers to give, even though the opposition has stood by them like a rock.
All right. So Tehseen Poonawalla says the opposition stood by the government, still BJP indulging in whataboutery. But yesterday in the parliament as well, we saw how this has become now about a terror attack versus terror attack sort of a situation. The government has also highlighted the multiple terror attacks that took place in UPA's regime. The allegation is that there was total inaction. I'll take a response from Pradeep Bhandari and others on this after a very short break. Stay on with us. Also, Rajya Sabha has been adjourned till 12. We'll be back with more updates.